Hi, I'm your host, Lisa, and welcome to your first episode of Single in a Small Town. It's a conversational podcast discussing dating, relationships, and the shenanigans in between. Just for the record, I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not an expert in dating, relationships. I don't have a degree in any of these sort of things. I am simply a hairstylist working behind the chair, and this is the topic of my conversations on a daily basis. Not to mention, I have a very active social life, and when I'm out socializing, shooting the shit with my friends, we talk about dating and relationships the entire time, pretty much. Sometimes there's some other things going on. So I decided to make a podcast out of dating and relationships. So welcome to Single in a Small Town, where we're going down the rabbit hole of dating and relationships. Today, my first guest is my dear friend Lisa, who is single, and we are exploring the dating scene together. Both of us are online dating, and that's going to be the topic of discussion today. We're going to talk about online dating, the apps, and everything that's in between. And just because we're talking about something and you don't agree with it, please let us know if you have a difference of opinions, because we want to know exactly how other people feel about this particular topic. Online dating, I don't know a single person that's like, yeah, I'm going to get online and be on the app. And no, I'm going to meet the love of my life. Some people do. I have been to weddings where people have met online. Me too. Hasn't happened for me. So
me neither.
Lisa, what's your first thought about online dating when you're like, let me go sign up for an app?
What I can't believe is that I was in like Plenty of Fish days, and then there was Bumble, and then there was like Hinge is what I'm using right now. And I feel like everybody has their own personal preference. But I also can't believe I see the same people over and over again.
Like, but then they see me.
I know. They're in my wheelhouse, and like some of them I've actually met, and just no connection really, like nice guy, nothing wrong. Just I wasn't feeling it. And then I'm like, oh my God, they see me. Yeah, exactly.
Over and over again.
Here I am again. But like, where else do you go to meet people as a working professional? You know, I work all week, and then I don't want to have to go out to a bar afterward. And then the bar's not necessarily where I want to meet people. So online seems to be the place to be.
Yeah. For me, I am on a dating site right now. I'm not going to say which one just because I don't want to. But,
Still, isn't that what we're here for? No, I'm just kidding.
But the reason why I go to online dating because I'm out and about all the time, and men don't seem to approach women anymore.
Also that. They
don't approach women anymore. And Lisa and I both know somebody. Yeah. I went on a date with this guy in particularly one time. And, his profile's like Chivalry's Not Dead. I open doors for women. And then we go on a date. I'm like, you going to open my door? He's like, no. But we were sitting having dinner at a bar, not in a bar, but it was a restaurant at the bar. And he said to me, he goes, if I saw you across the bar, I would never talk to you.
I get that a lot too.
And I was like, why not? He goes, girls are mean. And I'm like,
I get intimidating.
I'm not
It's
mean.
Intimidating. You look intimidating.
I try not to look intimidating. I'm trying to look friendly and open. I'm trying not to sit on my phone unless I don't want to be approached. And I want to sit on my phone and scroll through Facebook. And, but like if I'm actually trying to be open, or if I see somebody, I try to make a little eye contact. But literally, there's not even, in 2024, 2023, and probably since before 2020, nobody would like say, it's been a long time since a guy's been like, hey, let me buy you a drink.
Yeah.
And you can politely decline. There's a way to not be rude about it.
What's your go-to move? Like you see somebody across the room and you're like, ooh, I'd like to talk to that guy. What do you do? Do you make eye contact? What's your go-to move?
I make eye contact, and I try to see if I'm getting the look that he's giving. Like if he's giving me the look that I'm like, if I'm checking him out, I want to see if he's checking me out without looking like a creeper.
Yes. And then they'll smile like, hi, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Smile with the eyes. Smile. That's my go-to move. Like I'm trying to will him to come talk to me. Like,
what's your success rate in that?
That's like never. It doesn't happen anymore. I try to use it at the gym too. Like when I see cute guys and I've assessed there's no ring on a finger, doesn't look like he's working out with a chick. Hey, what's up? It's my what's up face. It doesn't work. I don't know. For some reason, guys can't read my mind. Come talk to me.
You work out at a regular traditional gym.
Yes.
Where you're waiting for people to get off machines. I do group fitness. And I am actually pretty shy. So I don't talk to people unless they talk to me.
You're claiming shy right now?
I'm very shy. Yes, this is
bullshit.
uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable for me. This entire thing is uncomfortable, but I am willing to be uncomfortable just to have a little fun and learn something new. So that's the purpose of this whole thing. But yes, I'm painfully shy. People make friends with me. I don't make friends with them.
Okay. All right.
So to actually, I guess I have approached a guy, but it's been a long time.
I always need a little bit of liquid courage and like the right opening. But I've been with girlfriends before, and it's more like just fun, where like you buy them a shot of water, and it's just kind of funny.
A shot of water?
Have you not ever had that happen to you?
No.
I've had it happen to me, where, I mean, brilliant, right? You get to introduce yourself to somebody without actually having to pay for a drink. Buy those girls over there a shot of water. Just all of them. Can I get those girls a shot of water? And usually the bartender is like, okay, it's water, right? They have cocktails. Why not?
They don't know what shot you want.
No. Well, and also it looks weird. So then you take it and you're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
It might be on a Tuesday. Do you really want to do shots on a Tuesday?
No. I also would have said no, and then smelled it and done the coy eye, like, what are you trying to do?
And then he's got a $30 tab for shots that nobody really wants to drink, and you're passing it on to the person next to you, like, hey, you want a shot?
No. I think I've actually tried to introduce myself to people before and like weasel your way in. I've gotten the shutdown, so I get it.
I have too. Like, I have too. I did it one time. But you can
tell, and at least you shot your shot and opened a door, because like, when are you going to see him again? What does it matter? Really?
At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As long as you try.
Or if you're in a small town, maybe you do see them all the time and you're like, hey, what's that dude's deal?
Well, if you're in a small town like I am, so single in a small town. I live in a small town. It's actually a city in a very overpopulated county here in Florida. But this small town, everybody that socializes knows everybody. So it kind of gets a little convoluted, and you really don't want to date somebody you see all the time, because if you do and it doesn't work out, then you got to see that person every single time you go to a place. I just
had this conversation with a group of people at the beach about being an adult. Like, we're older now.
Right.
I don't know that anybody's really having a fit. Like, we can have adult conversations about dating and breaking up, can't we?
Right.
Do we all agree?
But the awkwardness. It's the awkwardness.
But it's like, only awkward for a period of time.
Yeah. And I mean, if I see a vehicle in front of a place, I'm not going to go there. If I feel awkward still, if I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. But say, for instance, like that person starts dating somebody and you're like, God, I really don't want to look at that. I mean, I don't care too much about the breakup, or I don't care that I'm not involved with that person anymore. But the sheer, like, walking into a place and seeing somebody, and you're like,
it's that gut feeling.
I'd rather not sometimes.
Yeah.
Then there's other times where you just don't care and you're like, whatever. But I guess it depends on your relationship with that person, and it also depends on just how you're feeling.
Well, you just got to suck it up and be an adult about it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at the end of the day, because I've had it both ways, where I really, really liked somebody, they didn't feel the same way, and they were in the same kind of friend group, and I just had to deal with it. And it hurt for a little while, but now it's like, it's whatever. We're friends. It doesn't matter. But it took a little bit. And then the other way around, I've not been into it and then had to see the same like person over and over. And it is awkward for me also. Like, I wasn't into it emotionally, but it's still like I'm sorry, but no. And yeah, I get it. But you spend all of your time in your bubble, whether it's at work or whether it's going out to your favorite place or hanging out with your friends or your gym, your bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Where else are you going to meet people?
Outside of your bubble. But then when you get to the outside of your bubble, so I will go to other different towns still. I'm at a point now, I'm in my 40s, and I feel like also meeting somebody at this stage in your life,
it's hard.
We've all have had so much bullshit happen to us in the past. And everybody's guarded. Everybody's guarded.
It should make us better.
It depends. It depends, really, because you see, I mean, there's red flags pop up like before you know it. Boom, red flag. You're like,
that's a good point.
And then before you know it, you have that finish line.
Like way faster.
For sure. You don't give the people, like when you're younger and you're dating in your 20s.
So optimistic.
And you're optimistic. Like you haven't had all of that stuff happen. Like within all the times that you've been dating, or those long-term relationships, short-term relationships, just the issues. You haven't had all of that happen to you yet. So I feel like you're a lot more optimistic. You're doing.
That's an interesting
point. I mean, and younger people, if you're listening to, please like chime in and tell us if you feel the same, because you might not feel that way anymore. I mean, I started dating before the internet, so to age myself.
For real, yeah, like,
and
for
it was
real
a lot
dating.
Easier.
Well, you had to. There was no Hinge or Bumble or any other option. There wasn't that. No. You had to meet a friend through a friend, or at work. You had to meet them in your bubble.
A lot of people used to meet, and married people that worked at the same company I did, but I did not want to do that. I didn't want to date where I worked because I felt like it was awkward. You go into the office and then you see the person.
It didn't feel appropriate.
And I actually did that once. And I went against my rules. I dated this guy. I worked in offices before I did hair. And literally, I would walk through the sales floor and he would call me over. And not a lot of people knew we dated. And he would just call me over just to see if I would come over. And I'm like, I'm really...
After you guys broke up?
Yes. I'm really trying to not let people know that this had actually happened. Like, I wanted to keep it professional. So he would just mess with me here and there. And it would drive me nuts. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever dated anybody you worked with?
I mean, not long term.
Yeah, it wasn't long term.
No, and I just, like, I'm not interested in a romantic relationship. Like, this was too awkward. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Point blank, I just couldn't do it.
And maybe that's...
Well, you overthink it. You put yourself so far beyond where you are. You're like, all the what ifs. What if? And then you what if yourself out of it.
Right.
And it just, I can't. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there comes online dating. But online dating is interesting in that you can make up whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want. Nobody's going to read it.
I've had people read mine. I've also had people not read it and ask me direct questions about things that I clearly have stated, or like there's a photo of me doing. Like,
yes.
Oh, you didn't even look?
Well, I know.
Like, I spent time on my profile. I picked those photos.
What do you like to do for fun? The same thing as everybody. Walk on the beach.
Yeah. Fish. Here's my fish.
You're going to hold the fish
picture? Dog. Fish, dog. What else?
I have a dog picture still.
I've got sports.
Yeah, you're sporty, girl.
I am sporty. But, like, you can see that.
I just have to crop my friends out of all mine because I'm not one of those girls that take selfies by myself on a regular basis. And when I do, I'm like, oh, that's not good. I don't like the way I look there. So if my pictures with my friends, if they take them, they're perfect, right? But then I got to crop out half a face.
Because you're all smushed in. You're like, yay,
hey,
I love my friends.
Having fun here. Story of my life. Come join.
All right. I'd love to hear from anyone listening or people following. What profile, or have you tried social, or what am I trying to say? Have you tried online dating, and what are you on?
Yeah. I would like to know too. And where, if you have had a successful relationship from online dating, what app was it? Now, I know it's a needle in a haystack, and a lot of people have multiple profiles out there. They're switching between Bumble or Tinder, Facebook dating.
But if you want to date, that's the best way to do it. If you don't have the time to go out to bars, why would you not virtually be at all the bars online? Why do I only have one profile? I might create 17.
I get so bored swiping. I mean, I've got my inbox. It's not full because I don't talk to that many people. Because I'm not going to respond to every single inquiry. I just don't.
Oh,
I don't want to. I don't have that kind of time in my day. That's like responding to every email that you get from Target every day.
How many are you getting on a daily basis?
I don't know because I don't respond. And then I take myself out the searches for a while because I don't want to be on the search and then being a repeat person on a search.
I find that I will be active for a short period of time, like 2 weeks. And then I will get busy, or I'll meet somebody and I'll go on a couple dates, and I completely ignore the app during that period of time. Like, my parents come into town, or I don't know, work I'm busy. I'm otherwise mentally occupied. And then I'll come back, and it's like too late at that point. It's been 2 weeks since this guy asked me, Like, hey, what are you doing on Friday? Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So I've lost my chance. Yeah, I don't know. It
right.
is.
I'm back.
You have to want to do it.
You have to want to do it.
You do have to put a little bit of effort in it. It is.
There's like this last weekend, I had 0 time to even meet a guy. Like there was no time in my schedule. This coming weekend, maybe the following weekend, I have no time. And then during the week, I work sometimes late. So the time I get out of the salon, I don't have the time to go on a date. And then sometimes I really don't want to meet somebody on the weekend because I'd rather be hanging out with my friends.
That's where I default.
Yeah.
I get to go out one night. I'm going to go out next Saturday, and I want to see my friends.
We want to hang out with our friends.
Okay, can we normalize group dates?
Group dates.
I would love to say, hey, gentleman caller, I'm going out with my friends. We're going to Third Friday in Safety Harbor, and meet me at Barfly. Let's just meet. Bring a buddy. Bring 2 buddies. Group dates.
I did that. I actually did that. I did that with our friend that we just talked about with Girls Are Mean. I brought a friend. Girls are mean.
I mean, they can be. Guys can be mean too.
Yeah. Well, I remember I told that to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong. I'm not mean. I'm always gracious. I thank a guy for a drink. I mean, it's been years since somebody's offered to buy me one. But
I'll buy you a drink.
Thank you. I think you did on Saturday. Actually.
I probably did.
You did. You for sure bought me a drink on Saturday. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. You're not
welcome, Lisa.
I know.
2 Lisas.
But yeah, so we actually met. We met down at the beach, and my friend went out with his friend a couple of times, and they had a connection. And then he went ghost. Imagine that.
Yeah. I actually did it one time too, now that I think about it. Like, I met a guy online. We hung out a couple times. We kind of were jiving. And then we were going to go watch the Super Bowl. This is like 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. Wow. And then he brought some buddies and I brought some girlfriends and we all watched the Super Bowl. And 2 of them kind of hit it off and ended up going out on a date. I don't think it worked out either, but
you know what else has happened to me?
But how much? Like, maybe you don't like me, but maybe you like my friend Natalie.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, so I was meeting a guy. We were on the same dating site. She was hanging out with me. We were hanging out in our little town. And this guy comes and hangs out. And I'm like, oh, I'm meeting this guy. She's like, oh, I matched with him, but he stopped talking to me. So he comes and like literally they hung out the entire time. I'm like, well, there goes my date.
Are you mad about that?
I was a little annoyed. I was annoyed for sure.
It was like yeah.
I was annoyed by it.
But that's the risk you run.
Right. But he really wasn't for me anyways, and I wasn't going to date him anyways. So I might have gone out with him like one-on-one if that didn't happen. So it really did annoy me. And my friends were like, WTF is happening with your friend over there? She's totally stealing your date. And I'm like, is it really a date when you're with your friends? I don't like bringing guys around my friends until I know that I like them. Because I don't like to seek approval. I like to prove first. Because if I like a guy, my friends will most likely like him. Mostly. Most of the time. Except for sometimes.
That was a long pause.
Oh, wait, I had to think about that.
No, I mean, or just you go the other way and like, we're meeting them together. I don't know. I think...
Hey, you get 2 for 1.
Drop your email address below if you'd like to go out with 2 Lisas.
2 for 1.
Well, I'll pay for my own shit. You don't have to buy 2 dinners.
I don't go, and that's another thing. When I go online dating, I want it to be quick and easy first because I want to decide if I want to sit there for a meal with you. Like, I don't need you to buy me a meal. I don't understand that whole thing when women are like, oh, I get a free meal.
I get a whole theory on this.
I don't get it. that's not my thing.
So, okay.
And women get a bad rap for that too. And it's not the case in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you like a free meal ticket, let us know. And guys, if you like a free meal ticket, let us know.
I mean, that's one way to do it. But if you're really actually trying to date, I think the best approach is that first meet is just that. It's a meet. And then from that point on, meet for coffee, meet for a drink, and then from that point on, and if you decide, okay, I'm interested a little bit further, then you say, because drinks can turn into dinner. Yeah. You can't go the other way around.
I'm down for a snack.
But also, like, you can have a drink and reconvene and think about it and say, I really liked you. I'd like to take you actually on a date. Let's go do dinner.
Yeah.
So like that first one shouldn't count. Like if you're trying to online date, I don't think it should count at all. I think that's the meet up. There's one meetup and then
meet up and then date number one.
Yes.
No, I think date number one. That's date number one.
I disagree. You don't know what
she's like. We met up once. We did not go on a date. It was just a meetup. We're done.
I actually put it in my calendar. Meet with so and so.
I put date with so and so.
I put a meet.
And then what's up with this? You make a plan with somebody and then they just don't respond after you make a plan. Like you talk for another day or two, you block off your calendar because if I don't put it on my calendar, I'm not going. Did they not put it on their calendar? Maybe that's the case. But then they don't talk to you anymore. You're like, okay, did you meet somebody else?
Like, do you mean they don't talk to you until you get to the date?
No.
They just totally ghost.
Yeah, you're just
like out.
Oh, hey.
Well, that's weird.
I guess I'll make another plan.
I do the check-in though. If I haven't heard,
yes.
And it's like Friday, I'm like Friday at 3. I'm like, hey, looking forward to tonight. I'm on time with the getting out of work and see you there.
Yeah.
I just get that confirmation.
Right.
I actually appreciate that when other people do it to me.
Oh, I appreciate it too.
You know, hey, looking forward to
well, later. You need that. It's a confirmation.
Yeah. That's legit, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't do that, you should do that.
Right.
It's very handy in all things, even with friends.
You know, and I'm on a lot of these dating forums on social media. And one of the things they always say is like, if you're not committed, date multiple people. I don't have time to date multiple people. Do you date multiple? I can't keep stories straight. I've done it one time and it was kind of fun. But I wasn't serious with anybody. I went on a few dates with one guy.
How did you have time?
One guy actually caught me. He saw me on the date with another guy a couple days.
Was he mad about it?
No, but he texted me and let me know he saw me with another guy.
But I'm sorry, if you're not in an exclusive relationship, you can do that, right?
And I said, yeah.
Right or no?
He's like, how was it? I was like, it was good. He's like, do you want to meet up later? I'm like, sure. Sure.
I mean, good for him for calling you out.
Oh, he's like, hey, are you here? And I'm like,
and not just like getting mad about it behind the scenes, like, she went on a date without me.
Yeah, he said he was in the middle of talking about me to one of his friends, and then he's like, oh, there she is.
She materialized.
He's like, literally, I could have reached out and touched you. That's how close you were when you walked past me with the other guy. I'm like, so that's the only time I've ever really dated multiple guys at the same time. But it wasn't really dating multiple guys. I went out with a guy, and I went out with another guy, and then another guy. And I actually quite enjoyed that. But to date somebody, you know, if you go out with somebody 3 times, I don't want to go out with somebody. I want to kind of see where this goes. Yeah. I really don't want to be distracted by somebody else because the chances of me liking that other guy are probably slim.
Yeah. And that's the inherent problem with online dating is that you have an unlimited amount of matches coming at you all day long. And if you get stuck in that swipe mode and you're just doing it because you've created a habit out of it to just like, I need to always line up the next person, then are you really opening yourself up to see what happens with the person you're currently dating?
Right.
Because I'm the same way. I can do like one at a time because I genuinely read your profile. I think we have things in common. We messaged a little bit before, so I got a feel for like how you interact.
Yeah.
And then do you do phone call before you date?
It depends. I need to. I need to do a phone call.
You do?
I don't always, but because I don't have the time. Normally, like
I go right to date.
You know, when I gotta work, I'm tired.
I go right to my first meet.
Like, let's first meet.
That's what I'm talking about. Meet.
Okay. Have you ever been out with a guy that has a very feminine voice?
Yes.
And that's why I like to have a conversation. And no offense to you guys with the feminine voice, whether you know you have one or not. I need a masculine voice. I just do.
I just want to meet the person. And it's an overall situation that I can get. We can message. I could talk to you on the phone. I will know so much more, so much faster just meeting you in person. I'd rather just meet you in person. Let's go grab a drink. I like meeting strangers. Let's do it.
I'm fine with meeting strangers. I can have a conversation with anybody. I like talking to people.
But you're shy.
I like getting to know people. I'm shy in groups. And
I get that.
I'm shy in groups. I'm like, I don't talk. I want to talk to you, but I don't know what to say. Talk to me, please. Please talk to me.
You just need to wear something weird, like so people come up and be like, "Hey, I noticed you have an iguana on your shoulder.
Like last Saturday night. Or 2 weeks ago when I dressed up like Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Right?
A little community event that we had here. Yeah, got a lot of conversations there.
Right? A little conversation. Just go wear like a gold medal around. Just like always have a conversation piece on, no matter what
that would be a good idea.
But that's like crazy old ladies that are like 70 that like wear the hat with the feathers. It's their conversation starter. They like it when people come up and talk to them. Yeah. I'm telling you, people do it for a reason.
Now, when you go on a date, have you ever been out? So years ago, I was dating this guy. We're sitting at a restaurant at the bar, watching the sunset. It's a beautiful view. And this girl comes next and she's ordering shot after shot. And I'm like, what's going on with you? You're into it. And she's like, I got a first date coming up. And she is pounding drinks.
Oh, no.
Douche move of the week. Do not get hammered before you meet somebody. It's not going to go well unless your date is hammered and you have one thing in mind. But if you're actually looking to meet somebody and be on a date with them, I mean, could you imagine? And somebody else shared a story with me too, saying that she was at a restaurant and this guy came in, stumbling into the restaurant, went to the bar, ordered 3 drinks, 2 for him, 1 for her. And then he lost his phone too, so she had to Uber him home. I'm like, I would have called a cab and said, hope you got cash.
Oh, that's not a good first impression. Yeah, no. I agree. Hard no. Like, okay, but in full disclosure, I have had I've had a cocktail before. In certain varying situations, I was out already and then decided to meet up with somebody, or I had entirely way too much time to get ready. And I couldn't put any more sparkles on or accessories. And I was like, what do I do with my time? And I show up early. I let them know, hey, I'm ready. I'm going to head up there and grab some seats. And then I have a cocktail. And by the time I get there, I've had a cocktail.
I've had a drink before he got there too.
And I'm not hammered.
No, but like say you have
It is a bad look.
It's a bad look. You should never even leave a date drunk. I've done that.
I'm pretty sure I have too.
I've done that.
I'm pretty
sure.
But
I didn't show up drunk. I might have had 1 drink before he arrived, especially if I've got time. Like I want to just get there a little early. Yeah, I'll have a drink beforehand. Check out the scene, especially if I'm not familiar with the place. If you're not familiar with the area and you got to figure out parking, you get there a little early. I get a drink. And
no, definitely. So what is the douche move of the week?
The douche move of the week is getting drunk before you meet. Don't do it.
Bad look.
Ladies, bad look.
Includes you.
Ladies, I'm not guilty of that. There will be some times that I'm guilty of a douche move, but this is not one of them.
No.
Just 1 drink unless you can't handle 1 drink. If you can't handle 1 drink, don't have one.
Nah.
Go for coffee, which I find it extremely. I've been to coffee dates and I find them extremely dismal. I can't do coffee dates. I can't. Why? I can't. I don't know.
It's just not your jam.
I don't know. No. It
doesn't fit your vibe.
It's not my vibe.
Like I would never call you and be like, hey girl, let's go get some coffee.
You want to get coffee and a scone?
But I would say, let's go get chips and salsa and margs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd get.
Know your audience.
Yeah. Can we get some beer and queso?
Yeah. Just carb load. It's good.
It's fine. Yeah. So that's our douche move of the week. So don't do that. Anybody, don't do that.
I agree.
But other than that, like, what else is one of your things that you have dealt with online dating?
I think, like, on a positive note, so we got our douche move of the week, but like silent hero, I have had guys really literally suggest, hey, let's go do tacos on Tuesday. And just full on, like, I don't know why I like that so much. Maybe because I plan and I think of things all the time, but I like being asked to do specific X. Like, we've chatted already. Did you listen to me? I like tacos. I like Mexican food. It's my favorite cuisine. Usually get into food and like
not
superficial.
Italian?
Oh no, Mexican. It's high. Then Italian. And then Mexican again because it's delicious. And I love Mexican. I really like that. I think that's great. I even had a gentleman, like, I didn't really know the place he suggested, And the parking was weird because at the beach. And he's like, hey, go park over here. And he gave me like specific like landmarks and directions on how to park for free. I really appreciated that.
That is nice.
I was like, look at you. And now I know like cute little beach parking. So going above and beyond, that really meant something. I think that is the hero in disguise, is a little extra.
Planning the date before it's over. Before the first meeting. She says meeting, I say first date.
No, the meet's different. Like, hey, meet me for coffee.
Well, if I don't like you, it's a meeting.
Yeah. Well,
which is 98% of the time. Unfortunately, I wish I liked more people that I met. And I've met a lot of guys online, and a lot of them are nice, really nice guys that there's just no connection. There's a few that have had a connection, and I dated for a little while. But I do much better meeting in person. So I really, really wish we can bring back the meeting in person. Say hi.
Yeah.
Buy a drink. Send a shot of water.
I like it.
We're going to laugh. I'm going to be like, that's
cool. Or even just a glass of water. Be like, you look thirsty.
You look thirsty.
I would giggle.
I'd giggle too.
I also
put a lemon on the side.
Love the water.
Squeeze a lemon. Yeah. I always have water on me, but I can always use some more. Just side a lemon. Just make it look a little fancy.
Well, this was a really good initial.
Yes.
There's so much to dive into when it comes to online dating. I'm sure we'll go down like many a rabbit hole.
Yeah. And there's so much to dive into when it comes to dating and relationships.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking to people that are in full-on marriages and relationships, and or people that have just gotten divorced or broken up. But we do want to keep this podcast mostly positive. Everybody has a horror story. I have a horror story. That'll be for another day, and it'll be very, very minimal because we don't really want to focus on that. We really want to make dating better. How could we make online dating better? What would be your suggestion to make online dating better?
Oh my God, that is a loaded question. I really do feel like in 2024, as a woman, I need to make more first moves. I tend to wait for the gentleman to ask me out to go do something. I need to initiate more.
Does that not make you look desperate? Like when you approach a guy, does that desperation?
But does it make a guy look desperate?
Sometimes.
In the manner in which you do it, right?
Yes. So, I guess it all depends on the confidence level you have, which I'm a pretty confident person, but when it comes to flirting, I've got no game. I've got no game at all.
I'm not very good at it either. How would you make dating better? It's a loaded question, right?
I think online dating better.
Yes.
Online dating better. Follow up. If you actually started communication and you're there to look for a person, follow up. Show up. And I mean, you don't have to go for this expensive date. Nobody's asking for that. I mean, no, that's not true.
It's a meet first.
Some women are asking for that.
That's why you meet first.
I initially just want to meet you, have a drink or two, maybe a snack. I always offer to pay like my part. I don't need a meal ticket. It's nice when you offer. I like a man to step up, but it's not necessary the first one. And if we like each other, we can decide if we want to go out again. And I think that would make dating better. Just follow up. Right? We exchange phone numbers, follow up. So that's what I would do.
Take initiative and follow up.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching the very first episode of Single in a Small Town. Stay tuned next week for more stuff. And I'm going to kind of just freestyle this. So you might see, I'm going to probably make my way out into the wild and interview people.
So that means you got to follow on the social medias.
Yes.
What's the handle?
So Instagram is Single in a Small Town _podcast. Facebook is Single in a Small Town podcast. And YouTube is Single in a Small Town podcast.
Guess what, guys?
We're real creative here. And if you have something else that you want to add or share a personal story, please email me at sendflowerstolisa@yahoo.com. Yes, that is sendflowerstolisa@yahoo.com.
I love that.
Thank you for that idea. So we mixed that up a little bit. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And we will see you next week at Single in a Small Town.